So the role model is there to serve as the spark for your fire. A financial mentor is someone who has already achieved what you're trying to achieve. Now, this is very important to keep in mind because many people try to find mentors and they get like sucked into either scams or charlatans. But a great definition for a mentor is definitely someone who has achieved what you have already what you are trying to achieve, because this person has gone through the entire process from the beginning to the end, so they can guide you along the way, they can see the bigger picture, and they can address you. And not only that, you also have there's many people who can be in this realm from beginning to end of what you're trying to achieve, but also, are they willing to spend their time to teach you? Are they willing to spend their energy to teach you? So again, that's also an important part, because you can find someone who's done the process, but they're not willing to spend the time with you, right? Um, the difference, if we had to define financial coach is someone who is trying to accomplish what you is someone who's accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish, but they're further than you. So if you're just starting and this person, let's say they're 3, 4, 5 years in, then they can coach you on how to start, right? They can coach you on things that they have done. They can guide you along the way. So someone who is trying to get to that to that goal, to that end goal, just like you, but is much further than you, can coach you. But is that person a mentor? No. Why? Because they have not accomplished what you are trying to accomplish. They're still on the way. So, for example, if we would use me as an example. Um, Me, I wouldn't be a mentor when it comes to retirement. Why? Because I'm not retired yet, and I don't. My portfolio right now, I cannot leave on my portfolio right now to for retirement. Therefore, I cannot be a mentor for retirement. But can I be a coach for retirement? Absolutely. Why? Because I have started the process. I have done many mistakes before I start. And when I try to start, I did many mistakes. So I can definitely tell you what not to do. That I'm good at, because I've done almost all the mistakes you can think of when it comes to financial habits. And even when you start, even when I was doing a lot of mistakes before I started my financial journey, and even when I started my financial journey, I did a lot more mistakes. So a lot of costly mistakes, and that's the problem with financial advice and financial consulting. And when you're doing anything in a financial realm, it costs money and it costs time. And if you fail, then that's a lot. That's money you're losing on the table. So it's money that you could have invested, or you could have done something else with it. So R&B, yes, you need a mentor. Absolutely, I agree with you. Shout out to you, sir. Thank you for your support. Um, and so, yes, I can be a coach. I can coach you on how to start. And that can be a significant improvement in your journey. It can help you save time, it can help you save trouble. Um, and yes, absolutely, there is a difference between coach, mentors, and role models. Absolutely. That's a great point. Role models are not necessarily mentors, but they serve a purpose. They serve a purpose, they can inspire you. And that is a very important step. Um, they may not be able to, maybe it's a role model that you never met. Maybe it's someone that you watch on TV, on YouTube, or like online. But the fact that they inspire you, it's kind of like a spark. Think of it as you're trying to put this fire here, but before you have the fire, you need the spark. So the role model is there to serve as the spark for your fire. And that is a very important step, because without the spark, there is no fire. So there is a difference between them, and they all serves a great purpose, and they all can be beneficial to you. I think everyone start first by having a role model, especially when you're in your teenager age. You start looking how the world works, understanding. A lot of people go with sports. I One of my role models used to be Michael Jordan for a very long time. I even used my change my initial to MJ because my last name is with an M. My first name was with a J, so I kind of move it. It's supposed to be JM, but I said hey, MJ. But yes, but role model for what? Role model for working hard. Role model for be the best that you can be. And yes, Michael Jordan, and again, business life. That's a lot of inspired to be better. Take your investments and multiply it even more. That's an inspiration right there. Be a role model in the black community to aspire to be a star, to be someone respected around the world, right? Without having to swear and rap music. He's a businessman. He's not just an athlete. He's an influential. He's an influential person in society, and he has a presence worldwide. Like worldwide, wherever he shows up, he's there, and that's a role model. And he was the spark for many people. So great point, Aaron. Be great point. So mentors. So we talk about coaches. We talk about mentors. As I said, me right now, I'm actually Wealth Engineering is a company that I started as well, and yes, I coach people on how to start. Well, the first thing they do, how to learn things that they should know before they start. That's what I do. But can I call myself a mentor? No, I can't. That would be not in good faith. I can tell you this much though. I aspire to be a mentor. I want to be a mentor. I want to I want to have that status, and again, the only way you get it, the official way, is you have to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. You have to have it done already, because there is a level of insight that comes only only when you have accomplished the goal. The process, you learn a lot through the process. The process itself is a teaching moment. That I know. That I know. But achieving the goal itself teaches you a lot. And when you're watching exactly the steps you've gone along the way from outside in, because you're no longer in a process anymore, you can have a different perspective. And from that comes wisdom, from different things that we're learning, different way to share the information. You can probably be more efficient. So there is a certain level of insight. For example, let me give you an example very quick. A passionate coach might tell you almost everything you need to know on how to start. But because he tells you everything you need to know, you find it very easy. You don't take it seriously. You don't. You take it for granted. You might take his information for granted. You don't do it, and then you're not motivated. And at the end of the day, you don't go anywhere. Whereas a mentor might be more wise about it. Instead of telling you everything, he might tell you a little bit. He might tell you, and just to get you motivated enough, but not like desperate enough so that you want to give up and not do anything. So he stays in the middle. And why he does that? Because he has more experience. He's gone through the process. He knows that if he gives you too much, you won't be able to handle it, and he knows when and where to apply this information. So a mentor is more wise, and but it's also harder to find. But we're gonna talk about that. If you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here where you can find the entire Wealth Engineering podcast. Click right here, and we'll see you on the next one.